So I saw that a lot of you did this, which was really good. At the very beginning, you went and just wanted to draw the key that we've been using before. So that's a good idea. That way, as you're doing the problems, you won't forget or make mistakes along the way. So at any point, feel free to do these. And the more you do it on your own or just copy it down, the less likely you will be to forget which is which. So go ahead and draw this if you haven't already, if you think you might need to. It'll be useful. Now, reminder that this is only true if the variable is on the left. So it has to be x is less than, this is x is greater than, this is x is less than or equal to, this is x is greater than or equal to. When the variable is on the left, this is true. And remember, like on number 5, we had the variable on the right, and we showed how to rewrite this. It's kind of like a mirror image. It still points to the same thing. So like here, it says -2 is greater than x, and it's pointing towards x. We can rewrite that as x is less than -2. So you see how it's still pointing towards the x. It still points the same directions. So in order to graph -2 is greater than x, you have to know that it means it's a less than. So you find -2 right here, and it's going less than, right? So there's no -2 going greater than because of that. So anytime the variable is on the right, you have to rewrite it. So here, since the variable is on the right, you can rewrite it with x is greater than or equal to 1, and you can see it's d right here. Okay. So, and there was one more reason to switch the sign. That was if you multiplied or divided by a negative. Okay. We won't have any of those on today's homework, but that was another reason we switched the sign. But many of you already started number 7 because you recognize, well, this is basically the same steps as if it was an equal sign. So always start off first doing the adding, subtracting, and then you do the multiplying and the dividing. Okay, so first on all these, we're going to do the opposite. If it's a +1, we're going to subtract 1. If it's a -2, we're going to add 2, like on number 8. So the first step is always add, subtract, and then go through and simplify. So we get 0. So 4 times what is less than 8. And on number 8, those equal 0. So 7 times what is greater than or equal to 7. Right? And the last step was to multiply, divide. So these are both multiplication. 4 times what? 7 times what? So both of them we want to divide. And the sign is the same when you're dividing and multiplying. So it's a 4 on top, so we divide by 4. 4's cancel out, equal 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Number 8, 7's cancel out, equal 1. And 7 divided by 7 is 1. Now, of course, you have to go over to the right-hand side and match up the graphs, so you still have to pay attention to, is it open circle, closed circle? Trying to practice that an awful lot so we don't forget it. Hopefully we come back next week and we haven't all forgotten that. Okay. Just looking at here on number 11, very similar. Add, subtract first, right? So take care of the +9 first. Take care of the -4 first by doing the opposite, subtracting 9 on both sides on number 11. And then on number 12, adding 4. That's the opposite of subtracting. So we're going to add 4 both sides. So always do the opposite when you're adding, subtracting. And then we're left with, these cancel out, equal 0. You're left with what divided by 2, right, is less than 2 on number 11. And number 12, we get what divided by 6 is greater than or equal to -1. So the opposite of divided by 2, or not the opposite, but the inverse of dividing by 2, if there's a 2 on the bottom, cancel out by making a 2 on the top. And do the same thing to both sides. If there's a 6 on the bottom, you can cancel that 6 out by multiplying by a 6 on top. Right? 2 over 2 cancels out, equals 1. So we got x is less than 4. 6 over 6 cancels out, equals 1. So we have d is greater than or equal to -6. And of course, go ahead and find the graphs on the right-hand side. So your task for today is to finish all of these with all the work shown, not just the answer at the bottom. Fill out the full message. It should say something, you know, not so funny, but yet it'll be words that you can understand that you're doing it right because it spells something out. So if you get something and it says XYZUVW, you know something's wrong. Okay, it should say something legible. So go ahead and finish that up, and when you're done, please show me and I'll check you off for the day. This is due at the end of this period. Okay, due at the end of this period, both sides.
That shot work.